Good evening, everybody. My name is Goutam Bhattacharya, and I am working as CEO for Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council. Now, before I start, first I should be telling you about this Skill Development Councils, because I've had multiple occasions where people were unaware of such kind of council. Means, does it exist? Really? Means, what do you do? When were you formed? Something like that. So let me start from the start. I think late 2009, 10, around that time, government decided that there's a requirement for a focused approach to develop skilled manpower. And a couple of sector skill councils were formed in India. And subsequently in 2014, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship was formed. In this entire new regime started by Modi ji, and a focus, a very specific focus through a ministry was given to the skill development, and various sector skill council. There are 36 of them, and we are Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council. Our focus areas are pharmaceuticals, biopharmaceuticals, medical devices, research and development, innovation, contract research manufacturing. Our primary role is to find out what are the skill gaps in the ecosystem, and then try and figure out how these skill gaps can be fulfilled through very specific programs which are developed in consultation with the industry. Once we have these programs which are approved by National Council of Vocational Education Training, these programs are run into the country through in the industry as well as in the academia. And a lot of academic institutions have adopted our program, and through this there is a development of skilled manpower. Now these are all good part of it. The challenging part of it is who needs skill development, right? If you talk about the pharmaceutical organization, the business plan's last page even do not feature skill development because it's an expenditure. And also the academic institutions, and please pardon me for saying this, no offense meant, I've interacted with various vice chancellors and the dean academics and everybody, and they said that really, do we need any update? We are fully updated. Means you are also a produce of our academic effort, you know. And if everybody is doing well, so where is the chance and where is the scope of any improvement? However, when we go to the industry and ask them, can you hire these academic produce or the students directly into your organization and make them productive from day one? They say absolutely not, because we would need at least about a year of training. And when we go to the academic institution, they say the biggest challenge is placement. You know, we teach our students so well, but unfortunately the ecosystem is not absorbing them. So there is a disconnect, clear disconnect. And therefore, as a sector skill council, I think we are at a very, very important juncture in which we can bridge these two gaps of academia and industry. I've had many panel discussions where everybody talked about gap between academia and industry. But I think this is through this council that we can resolve some of them. Today, I'm invited to give a keynote address on pharmaceutical industry, and I will try my best. I have done close to about 30 plus years in the pharmaceutical industry, and therefore I'm making an attempt to address some of the things that we have done in Indian pharma industry, starting with some of the statistics. I think we are close to about 60-70 billion US dollars. 50% of it is exports. The growth rate over last 5 years, or CAGR if we take, is possibly nearing about 8 to 10%, which is phenomenal. If you look at the worldwide industry, I don't think any other major markets are doing such kind of growth and such kind of vastness. As you all know, and these are pretty much a published fact, that we are third largest in terms of volumes of the produce, and 14th largest if you come to the value part of it in the world. However, I think the the gap between value and volume is purely because we wanted to make our products more affordable and also more acceptable and reachable to the general public. We have Jan Aushadhi Kendras, which are now distributing massive amount of generic medicine to the most needies. I think there are about 5,000 of them in the entire country, and very strategic move. How did we reach here? We are called pharmacy of the world. How did we reach here is by simply by engineering marvel. We have had the best of the engineers in the country in which could produce the same product which is produced elsewhere at say $10 at $1, a fraction of the cost. And that's how we grew our expertise, and we are known for this. I'm proud that 60% of the world's vaccine production happens in India, and we are possibly contributing largest amount to the World Health Organization. I have had chance of working with an organization called LG Life Sciences, who are also supplier to the World Health Organization. However, the formidable position that the Indian suppliers have in the world is phenomenal. These are a couple of the strength areas that we have. So essentially, and in many forums I've had this discussion, and you have to pardon me for being very blunt, and specifically with the academic institutions who claim and who are proud of themselves of producing so many pharmacy graduates. About 5 lakh pharmacy graduates every year we produce. So I challenged them and I said that how many of you can claim that you've created a NCE, a new chemical entity, which has become a multi-billion-dollar. Now somebody can claim that I have created a NCE, right? But which one has become a billion-dollar? We are a pharmacy of the world. So the path ahead, a lot of time I've had discussion in which what is the path ahead? I think the path ahead is innovation and with quality. And the needle is moving from the quantity to the quality part of it. This is apparent with present geopolitical situations and the FTAs that we are signing. If we continue to have some such reports coming in from the worldwide market saying that our products are not up to the expectation, I don't think any FTAs will help us. We will have to move the needle. Now think about it. To do that, in our country, we recently introduced revised Schedule M, which is a good manufacturing practices. This was implemented by the regulatory authority, CDSCO. Out of the 10,000 manufacturing units, there are about 5,000 of them are facing serious challenges in accepting those quality parameters. We as a sector skill council are geared up in terms of programs which can help these MSMEs and various other organizations who are wanting to upgrade themselves in terms of manpower and the skilled manpower. I think that is fundamental. So government has asked them to refurbish their manufacturing plant and also refurbish the manpower who's working there. Think about it. If I am a manpower who's working in X amount of environment till about yesterday, and all of a sudden I'm expected to work on a sophisticated machinery in the doing computer system validation, how am I going to do it? Not possible, right? So as a sector skill council, I think it is our responsibility to reach out, and I've had multiple rounds of discussion in various government offices wherein I have said that as a council, I would like to take a lead in terms of upskilling these manpower. So one of the mandate that we run is upskilling of all the employees who are working with requirement to adopt newer technology and newer skills. I think it's only a few minutes are left for my session, most probably. I don't know if it is 20-second the counter or a little less, but I wanted to talk about what is coming for the Indian pharma. If you are all working in pharmaceuticals, I assume that pharmaceutical and allied areas that you're working in, even in hospitals. I'm sure that with the present disease status, patient status, expectation, technology which is coming in, we cannot live with what we had as a success factor a decade before. There's a massive amount of technology adoption that is happening all across the pharma, and in my opinion, this would be a change maker for the entire ecosystem, entire pharmaceutical environment. Reason for it is that if a computer or a program is calculating your first input to the last output, you can't change any data points in between, and that's the expectation. You will have transparency of all the various processes and steps. To do this, we need a massive amount of skilled manpower. But when it is adopted, when it is done, I'm sure the country will graduate from where we are to the next level. I'm also sure that country is geared up in terms of a lot of intent of wanting to graduate from quantity to quality. There are two concepts that I'll leave you with, specifically in terms of how do we create the skilled manpower. So far I told you that we have had programs. If those programs are run, then the skilled manpower can be created. However, when I went into the market and when I actually tested this, I realized there's one factor, critical factor, which is very important for producing that skilled manpower. So I'll give you a small example. If I tell you that, it's very easy to swim. All of you who do not know swimming, I say very easy to swim. All you have to do is to get into the water and move your hands like this and breathe, and then you can swim. But I'm sure if you get into the water, you will not be able to swim. The reason for it is you are not skilled for swimming. So that's the difference. So we have had our education in the classroom. This has to move to labs. We have to practice all the theory in the lab. So there are two concepts that we as a council are promoting now. In the academic institution, we are saying create skill lab. For example, I've gone to the pharmacy colleges, and I've asked them, do you have HPLC? I say, yeah, everybody has HPLC. Okay, how many students practice HPLC every day? No, very expensive, very expensive machine. How can we give it to somebody to just, what if it goes wrong, and then it takes a lot of effort to repair it and other things. Tell me, you are hiring a pharmacy graduate who's seen HPLC. That's the problem. We want to create labs in the academic institution where student can experiment. How will otherwise innovation come from? Think about it. Can I start to innovate just like this without practicing it? In the school, the student is standing in the chemistry lab with one test tube, and then 30 of the other students are just looking at it. How can you have innovator coming out of with a mindset of innovation or experiment or curiosity without actually doing a physical hands-on experiments? That's where we'll have to intervene. NEP 2020 has given us power to do that, which is a national education policy, which is getting implemented in schools and colleges, and I'm hopeful that something worthwhile will come out. But education in lab is, I think, a solution which we must push to see that we have skilled manpower in the ecosystem. Also, so I'll give you last example, and I'll go from here, that I asked the industry that you get skilled manpower? They said no. I said, you have money in CSR fund? They said yes. I said, can you give it to me? I will set up a skill lab here in one of the premise. That means I created a small classroom, which is a world-class classroom. It has a AR, VR module, And I created a physical lab. That means API machineries are put in that place. So a student is studying in the classroom, and they are changing, as in they are entering into the industry premise with the clean room facility and everything, and then they are going into the lab. For 8 hours, they're wearing the same coat and everything and mask and everything. They are feeling the heat inside, and they are feeling the pasina inside. And they're doing that experiment and coming out after the full day. Now, we had a first batch which was taken up by the industry at an average salary of 1.5 lakh. We are fourth batch now. The salary has gone up to 4.5 lakh. The reason for it is the same company which came for the first batch came for the fourth batch also, and they say that these are damn good. We can put these guys who are fully trained and skilled, day one they are productive. Now we are going to train their supervisors, because the supervisors are not trained as the entry level people are. Trust me, we can do it. This is a possibility, but we'll have to have a mind shift change of how do we create skilled manpower, and I think this can be one of the options. So for me, it is huge challenge in front of me. Pharma cluster is all across the country. I've just started to figure out one place, two place, Visakhapatnam, Vijayawada, but I think a long way to go for me. But cracking the code, education in lab is the answer, whether it is in the academic institution or in the industrial premise. That's where we are wanting to go, and hope that as a sector skill council, I can provide my motto of uninterrupted supply of skilled manpower to the life sciences sector. Thank you very much.